Hello, and welcome to Look Up Tonight. This is the cable show of the Orange County Astronomers, and the OCA is one of the largest, if not the largest, local astronomy club in the USA, with nearly 900 members. This show is one of our ways we try to spread the astronomy bug, hopefully, to you. We're now producing 2 of these shows per month, and tonight's show features our What's Up presentation, where you get to learn all about the cool and interesting stuff that you can see in the night skies. This What's Up presentation is from the January 2004 meeting of the OCA held at Chapman University. And as usual, OCA member Chris Butler is our What's Up presenter, and without further ado, here is Chris.
Just so you know, if you guys had a tough Christmas, I'll give you just at least a little information on what happened with me, just so you'll appreciate this. You know, my computer died, right? I had to buy a new computer, and the new computer died, and they had to ship me a new computer, right? Which meant that I couldn't work, and then a certain little princess got sick, so we couldn't work, and Tracy and I had to stay at home with her, and then everybody got better, ready for the holidays. December 23rd, kidney stones nailed me. So, I dealt with that, and antibiotics gave me intestinal bleeding. I'm still dealing with all of these things, which is why I'm carrying a pack full of Vicodin, folks. And if the talk gets a little bit slow this evening, I'll just pass them out, okay? That stuff is wonderful. So I'll rock it through the talk this evening and stumble on out of here, but we do indeed have a real talk, largely because Tracy was kind enough to support me in doing this. Thank you. Next picture, please. Let's launch on into what's going on with the planets here. Next picture, please. This was, do you know what that is? Yeah, that's your favorite thing. That's the moon, right? Yes, she's confirming all of these as we go. She, in fact, suggested this shot. We shot this outside. Diana pointed up and said, "Moon?" And I looked and go, "Hey, that's a good shot." So I went ahead and got that one. That's really her doing there. As far as what's going on with the moon, we had a full moon here recently, but just to take a pulse of what's going on with the moon, next picture, please. These are the moon phases. January 7th was our full moon right now. The moon is rising later and later and is now approaching last quarter in a couple days here. If you want to watch what's going on with the planets here, this is looking directly at the sun. This chart shows where Mercury and Venus are. They're on opposite sides of the sun. Mercury is visible in the morning sky in the pre-dawn hours and is a good bet. Best at January 17th is its widest separation from the sun. So you can look for it in the morning if you're up. Venus is now very, very obvious. Brilliant object in the west, and is in fact, although not technically a star, a certain someone has noticed it and says, "Star," and points at it. So it's the evening star. That's technically close. Next picture, please. So a lot of you have probably seen it. It looks an awful lot like this. Note for the, do we have any bachelors in the room? Come on. That's only because they're scared. This is like a model railroaders convention in here, okay? A lot of lonely guys. Here's your shot, folks. You got a bright and easy thing to find in the West. What do you do when you get the girls outside? You say, "What is that?" Next picture, please. What you do is you say, "This is the goddess of love," okay? If you guys are out there 2 in the morning staring at the Lackanucky Nebula, do not blame me. I tried to help you. Next picture, please. This little body seems to have gotten an awful lot of attention. Those of you who are high-powered telescope observers, you know that it is far away from us right now. It is small. It does not look like much, but it is indeed up in the early evening skies. It is up until 11:43 p.m. mid-month. It is a tiny little thing, won't look like much in a scope. Next picture, please. If you did get a good look at it, this is the phase of Mars you're looking at now with a good bite taken out of the side. It is, however, only twice the size of Uranus in a telescope, okay? This is a long, long way away. Obviously, though, you can see it with your eyes. It's noteworthy, of course, because, next picture, wow. That is the only Mars I have ever seen that is as flat as all the places at JPL where they practice with their rovers. I always thought they were cheating, but they actually found a spot they can drive on. So this is going to work out great. And it's very encouraging because all of you who know space exploration know that recently what we've made on Mars, next picture please, are craters. Okay, we've been very good at doing this. Now, for the college students in the back, this is not a real picture. I'm just pulling your leg, but it is encouraging and we're going to have an awful lot of fun with Mars. Next picture, please. Looking at something else here, little Timmy with his telescope he got for Christmas. What does he want to see? Of course, Saturn. Boy, we're lucky. It was closest and highest at midnight, December 31st. It is beautifully placed over the next several months in the constellation of Gemini. A word or two about that. If you know Gemini, if you want to watch Saturn up there, it's easily visible to the unaided eye. Again, highest, 11 o'clock and then eventually 10 o'clock. It just gets more and more convenient as the months go by. Next picture, please. If you watch what Saturn's actually doing, the ancients were terrified by this kind of behavior. The wandering stars, which is what planets mean, as they go around the sun, they crawl around here, and they sometimes hesitate, slow down, back up, slow down again, and get back to it. Now, what's actually going on is not mysterious. Everyone's driving the same way on the freeway around the sun. We're all still moving the same way. It's when we pass one of the planets on the outside track, our motion momentarily overwhelms it, and it looks like it goes backwards. But oh boy, did this give people heartburn back in the old times when they're trying to figure out what's going on. The fun thing is for you right now, Saturn is going backwards. It's in the middle of its backwards motion in Gemini. You learn the constellation and you watch where Saturn is. Watch, out about in March, it will slow down as it proceeds to the west in the sky, and then will slowly resume its crawl through the remainder of the year. You may notice another hiccup there farther to your left. That's when we pass it next year. So they back up and back up and back up and do this retrograde motion over and over again. Next picture, please. The rings are fully open, 24 hours a day. They are wide open to us right now. They are beautiful. This is a lot like what you'll see with the telescope, or more to the point, this is what the guy who sold you the telescope said Saturn would look like when you looked through it. It is small, but hey, it's real, right? We can't argue with that. It is magnificent. High power view will be a little blurrier than this, but indeed this orientation is correct. And there's more to look at with Saturn than just the rings. Next picture, please. Of course, we also have those moons. She's running comment. Hi, sweetheart. She's saying, daddy, 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 and pointing at me. Daddy's making a fool of himself. All of these moons here are within range of amateur telescopes. However, Titan, which you may see at upper right, is by far the brightest. And even Timmy's little department store telescope will show you Titan going around Saturn every 16 odd days. Because the rings and Saturn's equator tilted towards us, the moons don't go back and forth in a straight line. They can never go behind Saturn. You're looking down on the racetrack as they all go around in roughly circular orbits. So this is the kind of motion you can see from them. An 8-inch telescope will probably show you about 5 or 6 of these. Next picture, please. Later in the night, Jupiter is just down to the south of Leo slightly. It is much brighter than Saturn is. Can't mistake it. Right in the middle of this month, it'll be up at 9:14. Its highest, though, all the way at 3 in the morning, which is to say Jupiter, for your perfectionists, will really be closest to us in March. That's when it's at its best, but you can certainly see it all out there rising in the east right now. Next picture, please. Jupiter there, it's got the little specks of stars next to it. This, again, a fake picture. All of mine are fake, folks. I can't shoot the real ones. I'm not good enough. But you can see the giant moons that are out there orbiting the planet and the cloud belts. It looks like a big Easter egg, and that's appropriate because it'll be highest right around Easter. Next picture, please. One thing about looking at it now, though, if you're a perfectionist, because we're not exactly lined up with it, we're looking at Jupiter as slightly sideways as much as we can, and that gives you a chance to really see eclipses of the moons, which is to say, here we see the giant moon Ganymede behind Jupiter, moving in the direction of the arrow, which is not visible in the real sky. And as it crawls over that way, it's actually just starting to go into Jupiter's shadow. But because we're not lined up with the sun, the shadow actually goes back off to the side, off to the right. Next picture, please. On this particular occasion, Ganymede actually emerges from eclipse without having gone behind Jupiter yet. The shadow is tilted that far off to the side right now. So if you'd like to see these weird things going on, this month is a good time. A computer program like the one I used here, Starry Night, can tell you when these things are going to happen. Next picture, please. Another thing in the news, folks, comet Wild 2, which looks like Wild 2 when written, but apparently German. This is great because I love watching the scientists go insane trying to explain what looks like impact craters when they said there shouldn't be any. It's a lot of fun to watch academics get surprised, especially on television. Now this actually, just for a sense of scale, everything's relative, what's big, what's small. In the case of this, it is very small as planets go. This little comet, not a spectacle in the sky, probably not going to look at with a telescope, but I wanted to give you a concrete example just for scale. Next picture, please. That's against the city of Orange, okay? So I don't know, maybe that seems really small to you. Maybe that seems really large, that it would tuck in between the 55, 57, and 22. I don't know. I can say that it would take approximately, well, at 60 miles an hour, well, actually on the 55, it would take 4 hours to cross it, okay? Now, that's a relative judgment of how large it seems to all of us. By comparison, next picture, please, the kidney stone I passed was the size of the state of Nebraska. But that's a relative judgment, all right? Next picture, please. And there are no impact craters on that one. Next picture, please. Looking at the sky right now, just the stars. We should do a word or two about the stars. The heavens right now, magnificent later in the evening. All of the winter stars are up. Next picture, please. Let's put some lines out there, which really help. The 3 stars in a row marking the belt of Orion, we just down and to the right of them, or down to the left, pardon me, we have the brightest of all the nighttime stars. Sirius is up there. The Pleiades star clusters, all kinds of brilliant stars at this time of year. I'm going to direct your attention to a place you're going anyway, which is to say a close pair of bright stars just to the left of center. These are the twins of Gemini. You're going to be there anyway. Why? Because Saturn is there. And if you want to go in and have a look at Gemini, next picture, please. This shows what a naked eye view of Gemini looks like right now. The 2 objects at the top are stars, the lead stars, Castor and Pollux of the constellation of Gemini. The additional bright object is Saturn. But we're not here to talk about Saturn, but the stars of Gemini. So next picture, please. We simply obliterate the planet. This is what the star names are. There are lots of weird and exciting ones out there. In addition to Castor and Pollux, you have mind-bending names like Mechbuta and Mebsuta, and my favorite, Wazat, which my daughter has described, because she goes, Wazat. That's what that is. I'm up here dying, folks. These are a wonderful collection of stars, and you may be thinking, especially if you're in Intro to Astronomy class, that the 2 bright stars at the top are actually the brightest. Far from it, folks. This is an interesting collection of not just stars, they're suns, really, and if this was a fair contest, and you brought these stars to the same distance from us, so you could really see how bright they are, next picture, please, that's what they would look like. That's the honest brightness, which is to say good old Mebsuta back there would be as bright as Venus at this same standard measuring distance that astronomers use. You may have noticed the 2 guys at the top, Castor and Pollux, didn't change much. Why? By stupid luck, they do reside at the standard measuring distance. Approximately, Castor is actually brighter than Pollux, but it's farther away, so it looks fainter in our sky. So all of these stars have their own interesting characters. Castor in particular gets a lot of attention. It's a noted double star. In fact, it's a noted multiple stars. We'll show you in a moment. Next picture, please. I was able to dig up a lot of pictures of Castor on the web. paintings by some hack showing the stars of the Castor system. And a very confusing Japanese diagram at the top, which has just got all kinds of stuff going on, and they threw galaxies all around the picture, and their writing is worse than mine. I can't read a thing on that. But suffice it to say, you see two stars in your telescope. There are two small pictures there shot by amateurs from here. You can see them as a binary. In truth, each of those is actually two suns going around each other very, very close. So you see in that painting by that guy, you can see there, we're in that system, you can see that they're actually a pair. And then at a distance, there's a faint pair of stars going around each other. It's a sextuple star system, 6 sunrises every morning. Now, while I was searching for pictures of Castor, talking about getting a sense of where things really are, I found a picture of Castor. Next picture, please. Apparently Castor is in the... It's a real picture, folks. Apparently Castor was throwing the clank. So I don't know if it's actually there tonight or whatever. Maybe it's on a release program or something. But that's what Castor looks like up close. Next picture, please. I wonder what he was in for. As far as star objects to look at besides stars, Gemini has a wonderful assortment of different things. All the things in yellow are star clusters, pictures of one to follow. The thing in green, the Eskimo Nebula, is a wonderful thing to look at. And then in purple, we have an object called IC443, which I don't see very often. It's invisible to the eye, but good for photographers. Now, my favorite object in the whole constellation, right at the feet, those are the two bodies of the twins. If you go down to Castor's foot, you'll see M35. That is a beautiful star cluster. You can even see it in binoculars. So we have an object that's well suited even for beginners. And for that matter, for people who want to look at it very closely, you can get a great look at another star cluster, NGC 2158, actually behind it in the distance. The Eskimo, you need a telescope for, and that's good for the average amateur, and bright and pretty easy to find. And then IC 443 for the folks who are out there getting divorced because of the big telescope they bought. Next picture, please. Real photograph of M35 there. M35 is that huge mass of stars all the way in the upper left. It is so big and so bright, you look at it with a telescope, you don't know you're looking at a star cluster. You pan across it and the stars just get great for a while. And then you keep moving and then it's just like, wow, there are less stars over here. You almost need binoculars to even know you're looking at a star cluster. This thing's gorgeous. And notice the colored members. There's some yellow stars. Down in the bottom, 10,000 odd light years away, much farther away, is the spectacular star cluster 2158. In Buena Park, M35 is okay, and the other one does not exist, okay? But in the desert, you can see both. Next picture, please. The Eskimo is well worth your time. It does look like an Eskimo wearing a fur parka if that Eskimo has a spectacular skin disorder. Or is being slowly frozen or something, right? It's named, of course, for that. It's also been called the Clown Face Nebula. If clowns look like that, that's why kids are scared of clowns. Okay? This is a gas shell being blown off by a dying star. I always say it, a star not that blew up, but threw up. That's what's going on. The star is still there in the center, but to your eyes, it doesn't look like that Hubble Space Telescope picture, the big one. It looks more like it does at upper right there. It's kind of a ghostly green glowing soft shell of gas. Very pretty green color from oxygen atoms that emit light in a way your eyes see well. Now, someone with more imagination than me drew the middle little sketch there, supposedly through the Mount Wilson 60-inch. Yeah, right, I'm sure. They're just drawing this stuff in their room. But no, that is kind of what it might look like. And then to give you an idea, well, you guys saw the stuff. I'm cool with this. Oh, wow, that's dramatic. I don't care. I'm on Vicodin. You guys are all my friends. I love you. Look at that weird-looking diagram down at the bottom. That's what astronomers think it would really look like if you could see it and move around it. It's not a bubble like you'd think. It's a ring around the equator of a star, and it's blowing stuff up the top and the bottom at you. So you're looking face down at a very weird-looking thing. Anyway, the Eskimo is a wonderful treat. For our last treat here, next picture, please. IC443 supernova remnant. This is a huge shell of gas from a star that did properly blew up, expanding out into space, ghostly, faint, impossible to detect with eyes. As far as I know, maybe not, maybe there's some guys with a heavy artillery have gotten the ghostly edge of the brighter part of it here. Certainly good target for photography. It's down in the feet of Gemini as well. So next picture, please. We have got a wonderful, wonderful part of the sky right now with the winter Milky Way, all these great constellations. You've got Saturn, you've got Jupiter, you have got Orion, all these wonderful things. You've even got a real what's up through all of this mess. I've persevered. So next picture, please. I hope you all enjoy getting out and doing a little stargazing. Thank you very much.
Talk about dedication to the job. Kidney stones. Ouch! It comes to something when even kidney stones could not keep our Chris Butler from doing the What's Up. What a guy. Thanks, Chris. We all appreciate your extraordinary effort you do to bring us your wonderful What's Up presentation. Now, the #1 goal of this TV program is to try to get people like you to get out there and view the night skies, especially through a telescope. Now, if you don't have a telescope of your own, please do check out our website for details on some of the public outreach events we have where you might be able to come along and take a look through our members' telescopes. We also have star parties every month at one of the club's observing sites in Orange County and also at our observatory near the town of Anza, which is about 30 miles east of Temecula. If you'd like to attend one of these events, please do send an email to lookuptonight@ocastronomers.org. There are actually many other places in the area where you can experience astronomy. Here's a short report on location from the Griffith Observatory Satellite in LA that's free and open to the public. Hello, I'm here at the Griffith Observatory Satellite, which is adjacent to the Los Angeles Zoo. This is the temporary home for the Griffith Observatory while the historic buildings remain closed for their extensive renovation lasting through 2005. The satellite facility is open to the public and it's always completely free. Inside the building, you'll find a small exhibit hall containing, among other things, a fine collection of meteorites and a giant 6-foot moon globe. Of particular interest will be the special and revolutionary computerized mini planetarium, which seats about 50 people at a time. The planetarium presenters can take the audience on a fully realistic tour of the night sky, including animations of the planets, their moons, comets, asteroids, and many other astronomical events. I happen to know this planetarium pretty intimately because I'm one of the Griffith Observatory lecturers trained on this system. It's well worth a visit. In addition to the realistic planetarium shows, you can also experience real astronomy. As weather permitting, every night except Monday, a telescope is set up outside from 7 p.m. until 9:45 p.m., where the public can view real stuff. For instance, right now the public are enjoying breathtaking views of the planet Saturn and even the Orion Nebula. Do check out the opening times of the Griffith Observatory Satellite on the web or call for further information. Come on down and look up tonight, right here. Now, time for an interlude. It looks like we have time enough for a short video presentation produced by the astronomers at the Certif Science Center of Caltech JPL. The astronomers there often get interesting questions from the public, and this is the answer to one of those questions. Enjoy.
Ask an astronomer. Why is Certif painted black?
Infrared instruments need to be very cold to operate properly, so it may surprise you that an infrared telescope is painted black. Actually, the new Space Infrared Telescope Facility, or Certif, is painted two colors. The side that faces the sun is painted a reflective silver, while the side that faces away from the sun is painted black. The reflective side reflects the sun's heat, allowing the telescope to cool itself down to almost absolute zero. This allows us to see the infrared sky without any interference. But if you've ever been in a black car on a hot day, then you know that black objects absorb more heat than white objects. So why paint half of the observatory black? Well, in addition to being a good absorber of heat, black is also a good radiator of heat. That means that black objects don't store heat as well as their white counterparts. They give off their heat more easily to the surrounding space. By painting the side that faces away from the sun black, it allows the telescope to radiate away any heat that it generates or absorbs. So the black side is actually helping the telescope cool down. For Ask an Astronomer, I'm Dr. Michelle Thaler at the Surtiff Science Center.
Thanks so much to the Surtiff Science Center for another interesting answer. That is almost the end of our show for tonight. But before we leave you, I wanted to let you know a little bit about our next show. As you know, this is the first 30-minute show this month, and the next show contains highlights from our main presentation at our January 2004 meeting. That presentation features the incredible photography of OCA member Wally Paholka. Wally shares details of his astrophotography techniques. But we'll end the show with some photos from Wally's presentation, along with some other recent member astrophotos. I'm Liam Kennedy with the Orange County Astronomers. Now, get out there and look up tonight.